Are you struggling with a severe case of laziness? It's okay. This is a safe space, and there is no need to lie to me. Everyone gets stuck in a rut once in a while, but here are 10 tips that even professional couch potatoes can use to tackle their laziness. The first tip that you can use to tackle laziness is actually, don't panic and keep calm. First of all, don't be too harsh on yourself. Humans aren't supposed to spend 100% of their time being productive. If your productivity has taken a sudden hit, you might be experiencing burnout because you worked too hard. Instead of beating yourself up about it, accept that you probably need a rest. When was the last time you took a break? You'll probably find that the more frustrated and angry you feel at yourself for not working hard enough, the less you'll work. The human mind works in strange ways. The best strategy is usually to treat yourself with kindness. The next time negative thoughts about your laziness flood into your mind, shove them away. The second tip that you can use to tackle laziness is actually simplifying your life. Sometimes, when we're busiest and have the most items on our to-do lists, we procrastinate the most. It might sound counterintuitive, but it's a natural reaction. We become overwhelmed, so we shut down. We can't bear to face all those tasks building up, so we sit and scroll through social media instead. If this sounds like you, it's time to have a serious rethink. Maybe you don't need to tick every single task off your to-do list. Pick 2 or 3 of the most important things instead. If you only had a few hours every day to work, what would you do? Even if every single task is essential, chances are you can delegate some of them to others. The third tip to take in order to get rid of laziness is actually, start with your most important tasks. What is the first task you do every day? Far too many start off their day by replying to emails, checking social media, or other trivial tasks. Instead, we should tackle our most important task that's the most pressing, difficult, or creative task of the day. Our brains are sharpest in the morning, so don't waste all that mental freshness on something you could do half asleep anyway. Completing your most important task by lunch will take a massive weight off your shoulders. On the other hand, wasting away the morning doing nothing important will reinforce the idea that you're lazy and push you into a negative mind space. Hopefully, this burst of confidence will keep you motivated throughout the day. And you know what that means? More time to rest and recharge. The fourth tip to take in order to avoid laziness is actually setting small goals. What is the hardest part of writing that report or completing that project? Often, it's the simple act of starting. Once we get into the flow state, the task doesn't seem so bad. We might even start to enjoy it. So, how can we stop ourselves from procrastinating endlessly? By setting small goals. Instead of telling yourself you want to write the entire report, set yourself the goal of writing 1 paragraph and seeing how you feel after that. This makes it far easier to take action. The best part of this step is that we can use it for almost everything. Washing the dishes, working out, applying to jobs, you name it. You'll probably find that, even if you only aim to write 1 paragraph, you end up writing significantly more. Even if you don't, that's okay. Remember to be kind to yourself and take breaks. The fifth tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually removing distractions. When you set aside a 2-hour chunk for working, how much of it do you really spend doing anything important? If you have your phone within hand's reach, it's almost impossible to resist the temptation to check notifications or refresh your social feeds. Don't even give yourself that opportunity. If you can, put your phone in a different room or put it on flight mode. Of course, just getting rid of your phone isn't enough. Most of us need the internet to work, so turning it off isn't an option. However, you can download app extensions for your browser that block specific websites for a certain period. It might sound silly, but it's surprisingly effective. The sixth tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually reflecting on your direction. If you're watching this video, chances are you value productivity. But it's no use hustling and grinding away at your work or attempting to without having a clear vision of what direction you're heading in. Maybe your sudden burst of laziness is telling you that it's time for some self-reflection. What would your life be like 5 years down the line if you continued to do exactly the same things as you're doing now? And what would it look like if you did something completely different and crazy, like having a drastic career change and moving to a new country? Try not to overthink your answers and just use whatever pops into your head first. The important thing is to reflect on how the answers make you feel. Would you be happy if your life continued in the same direction, or is it time to change tack? The 7th tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually use your downtime wisely. When I say use your downtime wisely, I don't mean you have to spend your breaks reading quantum mechanics books. I mean that you need to be intentional. When you're stuck in a rut, it's easy to spend the entire day working but checking social media every few minutes or watching TV shows you don't even enjoy that much in the background. This is a terrible idea for 2 reasons: you're not getting anything much done, but you're also not enjoying your rest time. There's nothing wrong with spending a little time each day watching junk TV or whatever makes you happy. In fact, it's incredibly healthy. Just don't spend too much time doing that. Being intentional about works and breaks is a great way to become more efficient and give you some sanity. No more feeling guilty about watching cat videos. If it's part of your schedule, it is a fair game. You'll probably find that you end up choosing more conscious activities for your breaks, like reading a good book or watching an educational video, and that this gives you more motivation for your work. The 8th tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually embracing failure and relapses. Even the most motivated person in the world can't follow the laws of productivity perfectly. You're going to have days when you take your phone off silent mode, spend half an hour browsing Twitter, and end up getting nothing done that morning. And you know what? It's fine. Minor setbacks aren't a reflection of your self-worth or who you are. They're just that, minor setbacks. Perfectionism has some unexpected and scary consequences. You might end up reluctant to take on complex tasks out of fear you won't be able to complete them as productively as you'd like. This is the wrong approach. Everyone experiences hiccups along the way to success. Every time you stumble, just think of it as you collecting data. The more you try new things and exit your comfort zone, the more you'll learn about your limits. The 9th tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually spending time with ambitious, inspiring people. Everyone's heard the saying that we're all a reflection of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And it's true. If you spend all your time hanging around with unambitious people who procrastinate a lot, you'll find yourself acting in that way, too. Being around people who are even lazier than you might even make you feel better about yourself. And make you even lazier. But surrounding yourself with high-achieving, ambitious, and productive people is a kick up the backside. They'll hold you accountable for your lazy ways. Of course, these aren't the only traits you should look for. You don't want to become caught up in a competitive environment where everyone is trying to outdo each other and be successful. Opt for positive, uplifting people who fill you with good vibes. This doesn't just go for people you spend time with in real life. Apply the same principles to the accounts you follow on social media, the books you read, and whatever other content you consume. The 10th tip to take in order to avoid being lazy is actually working in short bursts. The Pomodoro method involves 25 minutes of non-stop work followed by 5 minutes of rest. Then, rinse and repeat for the rest of the working day. It's psychologically more comfortable to set yourself up for 25 minutes working than 4 hours of work. There's no way anybody can concentrate for hours on end without a break, so schedule them in. This way, you'll feel like you genuinely earned those 5 minutes of downtime. Try to spend your breaks away from the screen if possible. Maybe you could make yourself a cup of tea or stroll around your office. This is actually the right time to nip your laziness in the bud. Implementing all of these tips should help you overcome your laziness. And the good thing is that in the long run, overcoming your laziness will boost your confidence and your self-esteem. But remember, we don't have to be productive all the time. It's healthy to have breaks and holidays to spend time doing the things we love. Just ensure you're being intentional about managing your time. Well guys, we have actually come up to the end of the video. If you have reached this far, then it means the video was so helpful to you. Go ahead and like the video, and in case you are new in this channel, then don't forget to click the subscribe button. In this channel, I mainly upload content related to business, entrepreneurship, motivation, and life skills. As for now, goodbye.